So again, chat, I have a stopping point of the top of the hour because they're doing fucking maintenance bullshit with my internet provider. So I'm literally going to have no choice but to end this shortly. So I am going to do about as much as I can in the next little bit. And we'll leave it at that, basically. We'll go to Huff's Hoops, I guess. So let's see what we got going on here. Preseason power rankings had the Timberwolves as the number 5 team in basketball, with chat's Raptors at number 23. In terms of chat's roster, Brandon Jennings, Damian Lillard, and Isaiah Thomas. Shooting guard is Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, and a filler. At forward, Mbah a Moute, still 8 to 10 weeks without Kawhi, and James Posey. How long is the update? I think 2 hours or some shit like that was the prospective time, so I'm done for the night. Power forward, Amir Johnson, and filler. And at center, Andrew Bogut and Ed Davis. So let me know, if anything, how you guys want to set up your block, the untouchables list. Again, you have potentially 3 first-rounders this year, and it'll be 3 to 4 first-rounders next year already. Jennings and Bogut to the block. That was the first thing that I had seen. Will it let you add the filler? Probably not. Anyway, actually, it's like 2 hours, so once I'm done for the night, I'm done for the night. But the Timberwolves pick on the block, probably a smart move. Honestly, the next 2, probably a smart move. Any disagreements about the block? I imagine for the untouchables, it's Lillard, Butler, and Leonard. Any disagreements about your current setup here, chat? Any at all? Let me know if anything changes. For now, the Raptors setup heading into the season with head coach Brad Nelson still. It is Jennings, Butler, Mbah a Moute, Davis, and Bogut. Lillard as the 6th man. Middleton, Thomas, and Johnson getting time off the bench. For my Timberwolves, this year it is Mike Conley, Sean Livingston, and Luther Head. DeMar DeRozan, Martell Webster, and OJ Mayo. Tony Allen, Damian Wilkins, and Quentin Ross. Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, and Chris Humphries. Kendrick Perkins, and Vladimir Radmanovich. So I need to make sure my coach is playing people the way I want them to play. I do still have Don. Conley, DeRozan, Mayo, Love, and Davis. Perfect. Webster is the 6th. Livingston, Humphries off the bench. Tony Allen gets some playing time. I'm confident this team can make a push this year. Absolutely. Absolutely. The untouchables, Mike Conley, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis. For me, I'm not going to be able to put Luther Head on the block. I can put Webster. Can I put OJ up there? No. Put Tony Allen, though. If I could get rid of that cap, that would be nice. And keep Humphries and Perk as the depth. Do I have any other picks to trade? I do. Put every pick I have, which isn't much, up there. That's the deal. Again, the upcoming draft is as follows. It is the Giannis year. Oladipo, Rudy Gobert, touching up on the microphone. Steven Adams, Seth Curry, and a Schrader. But yeah, good year to end up with a number 1 overall pick if you can get it. Good year to do it. There we go. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Again, I'm short on time. Let's make that progress. As I get offered Andre Kirilenko at power forward, that's not what I need at all. So no, thank you. You guys get offered Gilbert Arenas. I mean, he's old at this point. That's not the right deal for Bogut. So skip that. Chris Humphries for a first. I'm going to say no to that. I'd rather have Humphries. I need that depth at power forward. Need that depth at power forward. Those Utah Arenas from the last year. Jesus Christ, he was insane. Raptors picking up some momentum. Currently 8th in the East right now. Let's see if Kawhi is back. Kawhi is back and is the starting forward. It's Lillard, Butler, Leonard, Amir Johnson, and Davis. You do have an injury to Andrew Bogut and Brandon Jennings, so the kids are playing. The kids are all right. I don't need a first for Sean Livingston. I need Sean Livingston. Backup point guard Chris Humphreys. Nope. Not quite getting the type of offers that I want right now. I also don't think I need anything. That is a good offer for me. Martell Webster, who I do like, but Chris Douglas Roberts and a first that I can then use in a future trade. So I take a slight hit at backup shooting guard, but not really because OJ Mayo's there. Yeah, I got to take this. I got to take that. Martell Webster's going to Milwaukee for Chris Douglas Roberts and a first rounder in 2015. I can immediately put... I still can't flip OJ, so we'll get Douglas Roberts on the board. And now I'll get that future first from Milwaukee on the board there, too. 20-8 for the Timberwolves currently. Conley, DeRozan, Mayo, Love, and Perkins. Davis currently the sixth man, which I am okay with because he is still improving. For you guys, Ed Davis and a second for Trevor Ariza, who is 27. It's not what you're going to be looking for at all. We don't even need to throw that to a vote. That's fairly obvious. All right, and we have hit the time where I can now change up my block a little bit. I can technically... Oh, actually, it's the 27th. So let's just sim through day. There we go. Now for the block. Kevin Love is out for a month or two due to injury. That might hurt my seeding, but shouldn't cost me a playoff spot. Oh, January 27th, not December. Well, I totally misread that, didn't I? Yikes. I like Radmanovich. Oops. Yeah, Allen and Douglas Roberts still. Get those first rounders on the board. Beautiful. Well, we'll see if Kevin Love's injury costs me at all. Does mean Anthony Davis is probably the starting power forward, so I'm okay with that. Humphreys for J.J. Barea. No, thank you. Chris Humphreys goes nowhere. It's actually a pretty solid rebounder, so. Sean Livingston for Trevor Ariza. No. I do not need another shooting guard. Thank you very much. Raptors still hovering around 500. That's not too bad for you guys. Could argue it might even be too good too quick. Ed Davis for Brennan Haywood and Nate Robinson. I mean, Haywood's 33, Robinson's 28. There's no reason for you to do that. Doesn't even need to be a conversation. For you guys, Brandon Jennings and Eaton for a first-round pick and Kyle Korver. Now, the reason why this is being offered is because Charlotte sucks. But here's the thing, it's top 10 protected. So you wouldn't get it for this year's draft, but you would have the Bobcats first in 2014. That's the way to view it. First-round pick in 2014, and Kyle Korver, who's 31, for Brandon Jennings. I get wanting to move out Jennings so that Damian Lillard's the starter, but they won't suck with Kyrie and Giannis. That is true. Actually, it's from it's going to the Bulls. Wow. So what does Charlotte look like? Bobcats have Wallace, Irving. Yeah, Bradley Beal. It's worth thinking about, knowing that it won't be this year's pick. I mean, Charlotte's not going to be outside the bottom 10. So this will go to a vote. See what you guys think. Is that the right deal for Brandon Jennings? Is that the right deal for Brandon Jennings? Does playing time matter for development? Yes. Yes, it does. Let's see what Chad elects to do. Jennings is 22. He sure is. He's 23 now, actually. Like I said, I get why people want Jennings out for Lillard. I don't know if I'd view that as the right trade for me. Why up to an 81 right now? Oh, gets hurt again. Jennings is on an expiring deal, but I mean, you'll have the option. So it's not like he's a 27-year-old pending UFA. Different levels of free agency. Like, compared to Kyle Korver. Final few seconds of the vote. Will it pass? No, it won't. Trade declined. Trade declined. We continue on. Brandon Jennings for Tyson Chandler. Obviously, in the past, Tyson Chandler was great for you. That's not the one to take. Chandler's 30 at this point. That's not the one to take if you're turning down the other one. So, Seth, chat Raptors, I'm the Timberwolves. This is season 3. As we have kind of traded approaches, as I'm going for it kind of immediately, and chat's going through the draft. Jennings for Nikola Mirotic. 2178 and a B-. Ramon Sessions is a 26-year-old point guard. Is that a good enough power forward for you to say, yeah, we'll give up Jennings and then try to flip Ramon Sessions, but you don't have much time to do it? He is on an expiring contract. I presume that's a no. Yeah, that's a no. Fair enough. Chris Humphrey. Ooh. Hold on. Chris Humphreys for Big Baby. Humphreys is 28. Baby's 27 at this point. Jesus. I mean, let's be honest. Glenn Davis fucking sucked. He had personality, but Glenn Davis fucking sucked. At least Chris Humphreys can rebound. So, yeah, Hump is staying. It is trade deadline day, everybody. My Minnesota Timberwolves at 34-18, fourth in the West, despite injury to Kevin Love. Chat's Raptors are currently in a playoff spot, 8th in the East at 24-27. If you are hoping for a high draft pick this year, you need to pull the trigger on that nuke. Because otherwise, Brandon Jennings is a bit too good, as is Andrew Bogut, despite his injury troubles. Those guys are going to cost you the draft pick you're probably looking for. The young core is getting better, right? But this is probably the time to do it. It's probably the time to do it. Is there any disagreement about finding the trades for Jennings and Bogut and maybe some other options if they're there? Any objections to chat using their nuke? Any objections? It doesn't look like it. Speak now or forever hold your peas. It's your last chance. Any objections to the chat nuke? Once I hit the button, it's the button. Because you guys know the type of returns you're going to get. There it is. Chat is using their nuke. They are using the nuke. It's done. So, let's tear this sumbitch down. Not entirely, obviously. But we know that chat wants to get rid of Brandon Jennings and wants to get rid of Andrew Bogut. That's quite clear. What are the offers for Brandon Jennings? Jennings to the Clippers, right? Hey, if you're able to send him out west, that might be detrimental to me. That is true. As the offers are loading. Drew Holiday, Ronnie Turiaf. I mean, that defeats the purpose. Obviously, you're trying to get rid of a point guard so that Lillard can play. Tyrese Thomas, Jim Udoka. Obviously doesn't make sense. Bargnani. First round pick from the Bulls and Kyle Korver. So the same offer is back on the table that you declined previously. It is the first rounder from the Bobcats. Mo Williams in a first defeats the purpose of the trade. Delonte West should not be 22. Let me mark down Delonte West as somebody to go and edit. Al Thornton, JaVale McGee. Doesn't make sense. That's right, I did. So yeah, I did lose JaVale McGee for no fucking reason. I kind of wanted to get him back, but I figured, fuck it, whatever. But the game definitely fucked me out of JaVale McGee. First round pick from the Grizzlies and Zaza Pachulia. 2013 top 5 protected, so Linus Claes and Craig Smith. Kemba Walker, but that defeats the purpose of making space for Lillard. 2013 protected. All the 2013s are going to be protected. It's just you got to think about who you're hoping will be bad afterwards. Totten Spates, Tyson Chandler, Derek Collison, Greg Monroe, Ryan Anderson. Oh, you could get Hashim Thabit, the legend. The future first. Matt Bonner and Brooks. Unprotected first from the Suns, but the problem is you can't guarantee they're going to be that bad. Especially with Brandon Jennings getting traded there. Just can't guarantee that they'll be that bad. You also get Big Baby in the deal. And obviously I'm not trading you Anthony Davis. Wes Matthews, Lou Williams, Radich, Ramon Sessions, and John Wall, which defeats the purpose. So, what do you guys think? And I see Clippers trade being mentioned quite a bit. Why? Other than to just trade him to the Clippers to stop me, which would be, I mean, might work out for you to be, if you're allowed to flip Thornton and McGee, that might work out for you, but I wouldn't personally do that. So again, you get a bunch of trades. I mean, the Bulls trade involving Korver to get the Bobcats future first was up there. There was the unprotected Suns deal, and you might be able to flip Big Baby. Those are pretty much the two best. Hope that the Suns somehow suck, or take the Bobcats one because you know it's terrible. You could technically go for the Rockets deal as well. Can we package it? You could package Brandon Jennings with something else, yeah. For example, if you were to package him with Bogut, Drew Holiday, Jose Calderon, Joe Johnson's too old, Yao Ming, but he's too old. Pau Gasol, but he's probably too old. I mean, especially if you're hoping to not make the playoffs this year and your first-round lottery protected pick is there. Yeah, I mean, packaging these two together isn't going to accomplish what you guys were hoping it would accomplish. I mean, you get like a LaMarcus Aldridge, but yeah. Standings-wise, for the record, the Suns are currently not in a playoff spot. They are currently 8 points out of a playoff spot. Is Brandon Jennings enough? Is Brandon Jennings enough for them to go on a run? Or do you trust that it'll be a lottery pick? That is the question. And then if you were to use Jennings, obviously you're not really going to want to give up a first, but if you were to use Jennings with even like James Posey, Memphis was worse. Yeah. Just for shits and giggles. Suns or Grizz? Yeah, like Drew Holiday at first, Warwick, Webster. Same offer that you're getting even without Posey. Yeah, I mean, the offers are pretty much just the offers. Cleveland's 2013 first rounder. I didn't recall how good or bad they were, but then you get Daniel Gibson and that clogs up at point guard, which again, you were trying to avoid. Same kind of offer from the Grizzlies. Yeah, I mean, pairing just isn't working. So a reminder, Brandon Jennings. We got to work relatively fast here with this teardown. And we're not even going to be able to see the rest of the regular season tonight, unfortunately. Works for a good cliffhanger, though. So for Jennings, the deals chat's looking at here. You get the Bulls offer, which gets you Charlotte's first-round pick next year. Again, the Bobcats have been terrible over the last couple years. And maybe you'd be able to flip Kyle Korver. If it's not that one, again, Mo Williams doesn't make sense for you guys. There's the Grizzlies offer, which would likely be a first-rounder next year as well. Or, I mean, the Knicks offer, same thing, first-rounder next year if you think they're going to be bad. But the other interesting one, there's also the Rockets. You get Hasheem Thabeet out of it. Honestly, the Rockets deal is probably the best one. Or there was the Suns deal, which was the only one that had an unprotected first-rounder this year. But will they be able to make a playoff push with Brandon Jennings? So, let's see what you think. Let's see what you think. What deal is the deal? And before I forget, while you guys are voting on that, let me go over to Boston. And I needed to fix Delonte West because there's no way he was that young. Yeah, he's 7 years older. 7 years younger than he was supposed to be. Oh, there you go. Delonte. Looks like it's going to be the Phoenix deal. If you don't see the poll, you might have to refresh the stream. But it does look like it's going to be the Phoenix deal. For you guys to trade away Brandon Jennings. Make room for Damian Lillard at point guard. There it is. Brandon Jennings to Phoenix for a first and big baby Davis. Big prisoner Davis. Next up. Can't imagine you want to do anything else at point guard. Let me know if that's not the case. Can't imagine you want to do anything at shooting guard unless Dennis Eaton can be flipped for something. You could get Udonis Haslem as a veteran power forward. Or a second-round pick, even though those second-rounders aren't worth shit. You can get a first. Jesus Christ. While you're taking that deal, Dennis Eaton and James Posey for a future first from the Magic. Or the Nets. Kind of up to you. Do you want to pick from the Magic or the Nets? But clearly, that's the deal. Magic or the... Honestly, it should be the Nets. The Magic, you'd have Perkins. The Magic, you'd have Dude taking up salary. If you go with the Nets, no extra salary cost. You can just cut Clark at the end of the year. The Nets one makes the most sense. It's going to be that Nets deal. It just makes the most sense. Let's not even bother being controversial about it. I highly doubt you're able to... Yeah, nobody wants that guy. So Thomas and Lillard, I think you guys were good. Butler, Middleton... we'll see if you can fucking flip James Posey for anything now. Second rounder. Anything more than a second rounder randomly for James Posey. I mean, Brian Cook, maybe someone else will want him in a package deal. If you wanted to flip Mbah a Moute, this is what would be out there for him. Let's see if this will load, please. Please. Jamal Crawford, Nate Robinson doesn't make sense. Corey Brewer, Kyle Korver. You could get a future first from Chicago and Kyle Korver for Mbah a Moute and Posey. Unprotected first from Miami, but you got to remember they have LeBron and company. A first-round pick in Patrick Peterson from Utah. At power forward, 23 C+. That would be a first-round pick swap. You're not going to want that. Keem Warwick is 30, but you get a first from the Lakers. First from the Magic next year. I mean, really no reason to not trade Mbah a Moute here. Marco Bellinelli. Hasheem Thabeet. Craig Brackens? A decent Young center and a first-round pick from the Spurs. Obviously, I wasn't giving up OJ Mayo. All right, well, let's go back through these again really quickly. You have this deal from Chicago, Mbah a Moute and Posey for Corver and a future first, lottery protected in 2015. You had Miami's deal, 2017 unprotected first, and Joel Anthony, who you could try to flip, or you might get stuck paying the $3 million a year salary. Patrick Peterson and a 2015 top 3 protected first from Utah. No reason to do that one because you give up a first. Lakers, Hakeem Warwick and an unprotected 2017 first. Again, you could try to flip Warwick. Orlando, unprotected 2014 first. And technically, there's the San Antonio deal as well, which I'll package in with the Lakers. So vote for that if you care to. What do you guys think? What's the deal? What's the deal? Their ages are... Yeah, it's a good idea, but it needs a bit more TLC in terms of the database. Which offer did you guys like the most? Essentially a sign and trade for Mbah a Moute. No reason to not cash out on him right now. People trying to bank on the Magic being bad. There's also some love for LA and San Antonio. Looks like this Magic deal is going to go through for the unprotected first. Yeah, I think we can call that. It's doubling up other options. Mbah a Moute to the Magic for a first and Ronald Carter. That is a done deal. Obviously, you'll still see if you can move Posey. You can flip big baby Glenn Davis. We'll see. We'll see. Package the Wolves pick. Could do that too. But then again, it does change the offers, right? Is there anything that you can get for Big Baby essentially on his own? Unprotected 2017 first from Miami. You do have to take on Udonis Haslem. Unprotected first from the Lakers, but you have to take on Hakeem Warwick. You get Mbah a Moute back. Darko Milicic and a 2013 top 3 protected first this year from the Thunder, but the Thunder are good. And if you were to package Davis with my first rounder this year, because you know I'm going to be a playoff team, how much does that change things? How much does that change things? This takes a while. Christian Onyega and Ronnie Turioff. What's Onyega's potential? C+. Nate Robinson, Henson and Cole. Unprotected 2015 first from Kyle Korver. Wheels, I'm on a Series X. It's still that slow. It's just because the game's not optimized well for this. Yeah, Chicago would give you a first rounder. You trade my first rounder this year, Minnesota's, to get a 15 and Kyle Korver. Gibson doesn't make sense for you guys because you don't want to clog up point guards. Memphis, 2014, top 3 protected from the Hornets. And Zaza. Patrick Patterson. C+ at 23. And a future first from Utah. Lakers offering a pick swap. Unprotected 2016 first from the Magic. Also getting DJ White. 23, 77. That's the one. I think you guys would be insane not to take that. A decent power forward prospect and an unprotected pick from Orlando. Orlando's loving you. They're your Indiana Pacers. Like, clearly that Magic deal is the best one. Clearly, right? Anybody want to put up a rough fight here? I don't think you have to. Getting rid of my pick that you know is not going to be a lottery pick in Glenn Davis. You get a younger power forward and a good first in the future. All right. Done deal. Let's see what else we can do here. Again, we are starting to run low on time. Obviously, James Posey could still move. Can you get anything for Amir Johnson? Haywood, Pachulia, Haslam, Warwick, Jones. You could get that Craig Brackens guy. You clear out a crap load of cap. A cap load of crap. That's not a bad deal to take from the Spurs, honestly. Get a decent young center, clear out $5 million of Amir Johnson. I can double check if pairing Amir with anything will work, but you really don't have anything that you're going to want to pair aside from like a 2014 first of mine. So just to double check. Channing Frye, Pachulia, Salmons, Anthony, Tucker. Again, you could get a first from the Lakers in the future, but you have to take on Hakeem Warwick. So, Yeah, adding that first of mine doesn't really get you anything more from pairing it with Amir Johnson. So, you might as well just take that Spurs deal. Brackens and Black for Posey and Johnson. Gotta add a trade exception, but that's fine. Get you a decent little center that you might keep. Can you move Ronald Carter? Do you guys want to keep that DJ White guy? Yeah, DJ White guy. That was my brought back days to the turntable. Justin Holiday? You might get better. If you guys want to keep that power forward, that's fair enough. Honestly, you might, you take on some cap with Perkins, but Justin Holiday could be a decent backup for you, but you're not going to get much there. Can you get anything for Chris Singleton? Second rounder. Nate Robinson. Well, there you go. Apparently this guy. Only a C potential is worth a future first round pick. Milwaukee's willing to give it up. Originally Portland's. So you can get Portland's future first, the Bulls' future first. Jamario Moon. Get a future first from the Jazz. I imagine you would want the Jazz. Unprotected 2017 from Orlando. Well, here's the thing, chat. Either I'm going to win, or you are all in on the Orlando Magic building you a fucking dynasty. The Thunder also offering an unprotected first, but the Magic's way more valuable. That's just a no-brainer. Chat is all in on the Orlando Magic being terrible in the future. If so, you're riding high. As I'll check to see if Philip Clark can get you anything. He cannot. Again, no desire to trade Thomas, no desire to trade Middleton, I'd imagine. Chat seemed to be cool with keeping DJ White. See if Reggie Evans, we tried Bogut by himself yet. We have not. We have saved that for last. I can get a first from the Bulls for Reggie Evans. Unprotected from the Magic in 2013. It's not theirs, though. I imagine that's my pick, given that you traded it to them before. So you're probably going to want that Bulls offer, even over the Thunder. Right? You probably want the Bulls pick back. I guarantee that's my pick. The only issue here is that you take on a little bit of salary. All right, Bulls pick seems to be the popular vote. Reggie Evans is out. It's another pick acquired by you guys. Really quickly, so Ronald Carter, that 2014 Timberwolves first. Well, Crash, the problem is they've already traded everything else. Like, the odds that that was my pick was pretty similar. Even if it was the Magic are still good at this point because they have Dwight Howard. All right, so Carter with the first does nothing. But then, did you guys want to keep Davis and Brackett? Ed Davis, 22, B- and an 80. Brackens, not Brackett, 22, B+ and a 74. I know you want Bogut to go, and we'll see if we can pair him with a first. But did you want to keep Davis and Brackens? That is the question. We'll see what the offer is for Bogut. I am running very low on time. Calderon and Carter. Get Joakim Noah. Mo Williams doesn't make sense. What about if you can get DeAndre Jordan? Fair enough, Crash. Do you guys change your mind about the young centers if you can get DeAndre Jordan from the Clippers? Roy Hibbert. Ridnour Artest. All right. Well, pairing Bogut with the first didn't do much. So what about just Bogut on his own? What about Bogut on his own? Keep the Clippers good? It's fair. They have won both titles so far. Calderon in the first, but Calderon would overshadow Lillard for the rest of the year. Scola, Malone doesn't make sense. Isaiah Thomas you'd have to take on Hibbert and then hope you could flip him, but that would get you a first round pick from Utah if you're willing to give up IT. Take on veteran Chauncey Billups to get a first from Denver. Obviously, see if you flip him. If you can't, though, that risks Damian Lillard. There you go. That's the one. Richard Hamilton on an expiring deal, a future first from the Pistons. That's the one. Hamilton's not going to overshadow Jimmy Butler, and he's done at the end of the year. That's clearly the one. Yeah, I mean, it's not even a conversation, right? Like, clearly, based off of how you guys have done deals, that's clearly the one. Andrew Bogut in a second for Rip Hamilton in a first. We'll see if Hamilton can be flipped. And if not, from what you're telling me, with everything else, you were good with keeping the young power forwards. I mean, Carter really couldn't catch anything. You were good with keeping the young centers, and there goes the internet. There it goes. There it goes. 10 minutes early. Well, YouTube, that's it. Time's up. The epic conclusion. Next time. Muhahaha.